We made it. It's the last Friday of the month, and we are launching our first episode of Checked Out. You guys really showed up for the occasion. You're looking good. Glad I did my hair.
Just as usual. Where's your
What's
strange
going on?
hair as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get you looking like an astronaut adjacent somehow.
Yeah, I'll be sure to bring some sort of helmet to the next episode. But before we kick things off, thank you to everyone who's tuning in. What are we doing here? What are we trying to do? Right? So name of the game is the three of us have known each other in some form or capacity just from being in the partnership room for quite some time now. And as it turns out, we have all started working at the same company. So what we're trying to do is launch a e-commerce. We're calling it a podcast because no matter the format, I'm probably going to just call it a podcast anyway. So e-commerce podcast, but not a stuffy one, right? Like no wrench sales pitches, no scripts, nothing like that. We want to be authentic to ourselves, and anyone who's lived in this Shopify landscape long enough knows the partnership realm looks just like what you're seeing right now. So we're going to bring that authenticity to your channels. One thing to call out. So the format is a little different than you're probably used to. So what the name of the game is, we're going to keep a consistent cadence. We're going to check in with you guys on the last Friday of every month. Like I said, we're going to check out with you guys. And the three of us will always be here, but we will always have a surprise guest. Criteria for the surprise guest is you need to know what Shopify is. That's pretty much it. So hopefully we can get a good 360 view of the Shopify landscape here. But anything I left out, anything you guys want to add? What gives us any validity to start a podcast today? Yeah.
Well, my name is Eric Autry.
Hi, Eric.
I'm the senior Moose Chicken correspondent, also partnerships here within the relay space, the relay and Safe Buy. But yeah, former e-commerce Shopify app founder with Shared Sweeps. Been on the brand side, and yeah, really excited to. Yeah, excuse me, I just got off the mountain. As you can see, we get first track Fridays every Friday morning, so. I get to go ski before everyone else does. I feel super privileged to get to do that. But yeah, just really pumped. Just want to introduce myself. And yeah, excited to have this podcast with you, Shannon and Harry.
Cheers.
Hell yeah.
Hey, were you skiing? What were you doing?
I wasn't skiing. I did do a little lunchtime jiu-jitsu though, pulling in from Portugal. Some of this stuff is still wet, which is slightly disgusting. This hat is actually like sweaty, but I just had to do it for the aesthetic. But yeah. I've been in e-commerce basically since COVID. I was one of those people that got kind of pivoted into the e-commerce world previously in the music industry. And yeah, joined Relo. We were rolled up into Relay Commerce, much like you guys as well. And yeah, here we are, and excited to just chat with you guys. We've got some fun little segments and things lined up, and try and just buck the trend of some of these webinars feeling a little bit stale sometimes. And some of the podcasts just need a little shake up. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I think we're taking.
By the way,
that's for sure.
For what it's worth, Harry, I would like at some point, I'm going to start training with my buddy Scott. Scott's been doing jiu-jitsu for about 4 years.
Oh yeah.
Love to at our, this is the first episode we're going to call it now. Maybe we do a LinkedIn Live, me and you. How many seconds can I last against you? I obviously can't beat you, but it's like, how many seconds can I last? I'm going to train with Scott, but when we do our offsite, for those of you watching, we do offsite every year with Relay across all of the business units in Europe. So I would love to just find a local gym that me and Harry could go do. And we
it is on.
Yeah.
Get you
not necessarily if I can win. It's just, can I make it past like 60 seconds? Like, I feel like I could. I don't know.
Well, go keep that energy. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a great idea and something we can really work towards as we build each episode. We can really talk through your progress, Eric. And I think the offsite's the perfect opportunity to have a matchup. Maybe not a gym, maybe a full arena. We'll figure it out. All right. Without further ado, we do have a surprise guest who's been waiting this whole time. So let's bring that guy on. Harry, this is your guest. So could you give us some clues as to who might be joining us today?
Okay, clues. He has a very specific accent, which I'm going to try and do now. He works for a data-based company, and it works on marketing consent. And we're very happy to have him on the podcast today, eh? And it's quite a special time.
Australian? What?
Interesting. You're getting close, and I'm slightly disappointed.
Is it Harry?
No, they're a big long way off. He is a big e-commerce expert. Then. How can I give some more clues? So the country that Harry Kane is from, i.e. the UK. It also invented a certain sport called cricket. And our guest today he used to be I believe a professional cricketer.
What?
And and now he works for one of our closest partners at Relay. And he's an all-round great guy.
Oh, I think I know
We're
who
very
it is.
happy. Who is
Who
it?
is it?
Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
he got it in one.
All right, Nance, come on out.
dang it.
Oh, nearly came out. There he is.
Oh, not Nancy Pelosi. Dang it.
15774.
How are we doing, team? Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Very well.
And then, firstly, I'm quite insulted that you think I'm Australian.
It was not you. It was Aaron Best.
He came with my accent skills, which is very impressive.
Harry was actually prepping before the call, just trying to test out the Southern
Kind of
accent.
getting some reps. Yes.
Also, I'm sorry. I'm the one that brought the insult at the top of this hour. Look at his crap.
It's okay. We're classic Americans. We think Australians, Scottish, and Irish and English are all the same thing.
All the same. Yeah.
It's all the same. Nice to meet you.
How's everyone doing?
We are doing well. Like I said, just kicking off this podcast. We have a couple segments we wanted to test out. I appreciate you, hanging on with us so far. Eric, do you want to kick off with some hypotheticals as you do?
Yeah, for sure. So nice to meet you. We always do this when we hang out at dinners. I always do this at tech partner dinners. You want to get people to break the wall. So the wall of like trying to be cool in a conversation. You want to be very self-deprecating and just say some ridiculous stuff to get them to trust you. So I always ask these questions. So the first question, and this is going to shout out to Austin Simon here at Relay as the COO. We've already done this question before, guys. So internally, so this is our first whack at it publicly, but all right, there's two scenarios. So one scenario is you have to pick one of the two. So there's no getting out of this. You have to do one of the two. You can't say both. Well, you wouldn't do both. It's terrifying. But the first option is every time you get in a car, you have to kill a chicken that's trying to kill you in the car. Every time you get in a car, there's a chicken trying to kill you. Whether you're driving the car, if people are with you, those people are now also getting attacked by this chicken. Anytime in a car, anything with wheels, so even a carriage, there's a chicken in there trying to, kill you. Or, this is crazy. So once a year, like November, let's say it's like the second Tuesday of November, you have to go do straight up one-on-one Mortal Kombat versus an orangutan that is trained as a sword. You have a sword as well, but it's like totally trained. Like it's got promo videos of it training like in the woods, like before the fight, but you have all year to train. It's only once a year, right? It's very flashy. So I'd love to hear, I guess, your take on that. Are you killing chickens every day just being a very depressed person, or are you more of an entertainer? And YOLO, like what exactly are you going for there?
I think I'm taking option number 2. Yeah, training for the year.
Wow.
Yeah, option
Big
number.
moment.
Yeah, it's
It's a
a
flash.
bit of a bold move, but yeah, I'd rather take the risk and go for option number 2, 100%.
Is that like the data ship's mindset? Like one,
Possibly, yeah. We have, I suppose, just coming from a sporty background. I think that's just what I'd kind of go for. Always take the challenge, take the risk. But yeah, both aren't great options, but I'm choosing number 2.
quick additional question now that I learned that you played cricket, sounds like you just referred to sports. Have you ever tried hurling?
I haven't actually. I have never tried hurling or Gaelic. Living in Ireland for over 20 years, I've never tried either sport, so it's not the best rap to have. But no, I've played with my friends a little bit, but I've never actually played a game. So yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to do hurling. Hurling's epic.
Yeah. Another fun fact for you, Eric. I've never actually skied. So
Wow.
that's something I've never done either. So
Dang, man. Yeah, I don't know if you heard in the warm up that we had going on. I get first tracks at Keystone on Fridays. So they open the lift at 8:30, but homeowners and locals get to go up at 7. And it's just nice corduroy slopes, and you can just fly over the slopes. It's peaceful, no music, just complete silence. It was awesome. So I'm coming straight from that.
Any chickens trying to take you down while you're skiing?
No chickens. There were chickens on the slope though, as in little kids. Some of the little kids will go out. I call them chickens.
You call them little chickens.
So this is part of the Moose Chicken Society of Silverthorne, Colorado. So one of the things is little chickens. Those are like kids. And then moose chickens, like people like us, adults, you always just got to be careful and watch out for them. But yeah, it was fun this morning. Shane, you got to get out here, man.
I do. I think I need to just man up. I think I've just been too scared to get injured and get on the slopes. On the slopes. But yeah, need to do it now that I've stopped playing cricket. I need it.
Offers there. I got extra room. So
Yeah.
let me know.
What about an e-com event on the slopes? That'd be pretty fun.
I would love that, dude. Actually, shout out to Bar from No Commerce. He's doing Adidas ski in Aspen. He's asking for $100,000 to sponsor, which was no offense, Bar. I love you, but
Little steep.
$100,000, dude. I could drive there in 2 hours. Just get in my car and ask people to go to coffee with me. But yeah, I would love to do one. Maybe like the people's version of that. $2,000 sponsorship, a little bit cheaper. Not as nice of a hotel, but I'd be down for that for sure. We could do it in like late March. We get a lot of snow at that time.
Sounds good.
All right. Harry, it looks like you're
Yeah.
up. We're trying to put segments here.
Okay.
Like you're up in terms of one guest related topic to chat about.
Oh yeah. Intrigued because obviously Shane, you grew up in South Africa, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. Are there any like e-com trends that you've seen in South Africa growing up that just like never took off in Europe or the States? Just like curious things that you thought actually were really cool and you were surprised they didn't?
In terms of e-com trends, no, because like I suppose growing up, I was never in kind of the e-com space. I've literally been in the e-com space for about 2 years now, so it wasn't something I was really focused on. But I suppose like a trend that is outside of e-com in South Africa, you know, braais, aka barbecues, are absolutely massive. I still think that's the most popular country in the world that loves a braai in terms of the culture.
What's it called? Called a braai.
What a braai, yeah. Another word for a barbecue that we call it in Ireland or the UK. So that's a popular trend away from e-com. But no, growing up as a kid in South Africa, e-com definitely wasn't on my mind. It was more so just playing as many sports as I could.
Yeah. Nice.
You consider a barbecue, like, I'm from the South, so when we're like, hey, we're gonna do a barbecue, that means like brisket.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting sauces out. That's even an East Coast thing too. Shannon would probably agree. I live in Colorado now. But yeah, well, we could barbecue tonight. I'm like, oh, we don't have enough time. Barbecue.
You gotta put a
We
big
can barbecue steak. I'm like, what are you talking about? You could grill some steak.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you guys talk about barbecuing? Is it in that same terminology? Because barbecuing is like, you know, it takes time. It's slow cook. Like, break that down. What is barbecue to you guys?
But like barbecuing or braais in South Africa, yeah, we're definitely like absolute meat lovers. So there's a lot of meat. There's like 90% of the meal is probably, you know, steaks, burgers, and a sausage called boerewors. And there's maybe a bit of salad on the side. But yeah, we're definitely big meat lovers. But it's more the culture, I suppose. Like everyone, it's, you know, yeah, we're having like a nice barbecue, a nice braai, but it's everyone getting together and, you know, a kind of wholesome community feel. And they literally do it during the summer 2-3 times a week. You nearly get sick of it, but it's, really good fun. And yeah, anyone that goes to South Africa should. 9 times out of 10, yeah, you'd have a braai if you're visiting any friends or family.
I mean, the slopes sound like a funny e-com event, but this sounds a little bit better. Good food, outdoors, little less liability.
Not 100K.
Not 100K.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Harry.
Other thing I'm curious to know, Shane, what is the best thing that you've ever bought online? And it doesn't have to be something very flashy or exciting, but just something that you received and you were like, that was exactly what I was looking for. Weirder or more niche.
It's very, very niche and very, very boring, not flashy at all. But like playing professional sport, you're trying to stay on the prod for as long as you can and not get injured. And I definitely got injured a lot, but yeah, in terms of niche products, I bought like a foam roller, a spiky foam roller that literally kept me on the pod for 4 or 5 years, along with my physio at the time. But yeah, I think it cost me like $30, but it literally lasted me 5 years. So very random, very weird, but yeah, everyone used to joke about it. Like I think I lost it, nearly misplaced it like 5 or 6 times, but I still have it today. Yeah.
Where did you get it from? What website?
That's a great question. Yes, that's one thing I'm actually not too sure where I got it from, but in terms of the memories from it, that is one that springs to mind.
Emotional
Nice.
support foam rollers. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Paying for those things. One final question to you, Shane. What is one podcast or YouTube channel recommendation or something that you would give to people who might be listening to this, just getting into e-commerce? Yeah. What are you kind of consuming on a regular basis?
Two that spring to mind that I come on my Instagram feed quite a lot is there's a guy called Gary Fox in Ireland, actually. He interviews, all different businesses and quite a few in the e-com space. A lot of Irish e-com founders have been on his podcast. So I've been watching that lately. And then I'm sure everyone knows Steve Bartlett. He's well known around the world for, interviewing the likes of, really well known brands out there. So those are the two that really spring to mind.
Nice. Yeah. Solid.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Excellent. Going into our next segment and kind of on the realm of emotional support foam rollers, let's jump into our Rorschach test. Are you familiar with a Rorschach, Shane?
I'm not Shannon.
So it's a psychological test. When you see it, you'll know. So the ink blot tests, where you pull up an ink blot and you kind of talk through what do you see, what kind of emotions does this ink blot you feel. This is what we're going to do today. I hope you've signed up for this nice therapeutic session. Producer Olivia, can you pull up our Rorschach test? All right. So I guess we can make this a group effort, right? So like we can talk through what do we see? What are some of the pain points or maybe, and what kind of emotions does this stir up when we think about our career roles? Yeah. I mean, does anyone else, just me?
How do you make one of these?
Yeah, AI. It's just
So you give it to AI and then it looks like AI. Yeah.
I mean, we've run the risk here where, anyone else just see my parents fighting? I don't know, kidding.
Oh, you saw your dad too? Oh my God.
Yeah. No, but any gut reactions from the ink blot guy?
That reaction. What I'm thinking about right now, I don't want to expose myself too much. Not in a good space at the moment.
Is it the helmet?
No, wait. I don't know what vision. I mean, I'd assume it's blue on the left, orange on the right. Just make sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
I interpret it as like AI, digital versus like brick and mortar, authentic communities, community building, etc.
It kind of makes me think about Avengers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Like-
I see. Vision.
I'm not even thinking e-commerce right now. I'm
Yeah.
just obviously the Shopify bag is there, but I'm not that detailed. I'm just thinking Avengers for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, what you got?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of just showing the mixture of the two sides, right? You have the physical side of what's actually happening, the kind of nuts and bolts of all of the actual e-commerce kind of supply chain and stuff on the right. On the left, you've got more of the analytical side, AI-powered stuff. It's dripping for some reason. We don't know. The whole thing's just dripping down the page. Google seems to be mentioned in the top there. Then there's another logo in the top left that I really don't know even what that is. It looks like it's like almost the OpenAI logo. It's about as much as I'm getting, really. Shannon.
Yeah, like I said, I see the dichotomy of like digital world versus in IRL, right? Like in person, community building, et cetera. And I think this is kind of like, if I'm a brand, I'm probably over indexing on one side of this, or one is giving me more pain than the other. Or if you look at it from like again, ink blots, this is a therapeutic section from like more of a negative connotation, like blurring the lines between the two, where like I think a lot of people might be trying to replace AI with things maybe they shouldn't, because you can't really replicate being in person or having authentic conversations like we're doing today. You know what I mean? I don't know. Shane, what do you think? Does this stir up any emotions for you?
It's kind of a mixture of everything, I suppose. That if you look at AI on the left, it kind of stands out, and it's obviously taken over. But saying that, it's not just AI, that you're kind of using AI to leverage or really help your brand be quicker or maybe sell more products and whatnot. But you need everything else alongside that. And then I don't know. Initially, I was looking at Shopify, kind of like the online space versus kind of the retail space. That's the first thing that really look out for me. And there's some brands you come across that might start off in retail and then move on to, online with Shopify or vice versa. Those are some of the things that came to my mind initially.
I guess to relate it to ecom, yeah, sorry, I didn't know we were like, this is supposed to be ecom talk track. I genuinely thought Avengers, but yeah,
I see vision there.
from the software side, I think it's interesting. It's kind of like you have all your traditional SaaS companies, Shopify apps that built their business model based off of making money from software fixed fees. So you got all these Shopify apps that are like, hey, you know, our business model, what we raised $50 billion on is this software that now can be built in like 2 months that we charge like $5,000 for a month. Right. And like AI is basically taking over. Those companies are getting over leveraged. They're having to lay off a lot of people. Whereas the companies that are doing well, that were OG Shopify apps, are actually the ones that have some type of fintech element. Fintech is, you can't replace that with AI. You know, money is money, right? And so anybody with that fintech element or any type of service applied to their Shopify app and software are actually thriving at the moment. And so to me, that's kind of like the right side. Like the right side is like all the companies that still had that fintech element. An example, Postpilot, right? Postpilot still has a service where it's them sending direct mail to people.
Right.
Whether there's AI that's automating what the direct mail looks like or any of that stuff, they're still providing a service, and the fintech behind the service of what is discounted bulk rate for direct mail. So they are acting as a fintech and a service. SaveBuy is very similar, right? It's more of like fintech insurance, right? And so we have that same leverage point, and there are a few others out there as well. Wayflyer is a lender actually in the space. They've been in business since I started there in 2020, right? So I think this is the battle of like AI taking over the bad business models, genuine, and then the one that it still exists and are actually thriving more because like hypothetical competitors have been over leveraged.
Yep. Producer Olivia just mentioned that this is actually a dichotomy of like Shopify's AI commerce versus agentic storefronts, which is interesting, right? So when you think about it from an agentic perspective, same thing, being able to get rid of like the web of workflows that would typically require you to maintain a store on a day-to-day basis, so you can actually start to focus on the things that matter in terms of building a brand, right? Actually sheds a little bit of levity to this when I look at it. Before it was more of a like a, you know, the negativity from AI, at least for me. All right, moving on to the next segment. We wanted to try one called Tank It. If we pull this up. Yeah. So name of the game here. Again, we were just talking about some things that, you know, might actually fall into this category. But what's the fastest way to take a brand, right? We're always talking about the best practices and the things that you could do to increase subscription revenue and things like that. But like, what's a guarantee surefire? Like, let's definitely not do that.
Yeah, I got one right out the gate. I mean, a little background on myself. I was at Wayflyer, so I've looked at probably 1,000 P&Ls of merchants when we first started out. So it scared the living crap out of me. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody makes money. Like if I looked at 100 brands, 90 of them are unprofitable, 5 of them are barely profitable, and then there's 5 that are really good. So it's really not that hard. I'd say the hot take here is we don't need a brand to do anything different. They're already tanking themselves. Like that's how to brand. Just don't tell them to do anything different.
Yeah.
That's how you tank a brand. I'm sorry for all the brand people out there, but they know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you really want to tank a brand, I would say pay for your inventory 100% up front. 100% upfront. Cash conversion cycles like 5 months. Take a ton of money from like Wayflyer and like all these fintech lenders. Take as much as you can. Over leverage yourself. Use your lending money for those things, and so that's what I would do to tank a business.
One that comes to mind for me recently, only because I was just reading it in the LinkedIn scrolls, and also we were just talking about AI. Again, you build a brand on trust at the end of the day. And when you introduce like certain AI elements into areas where that you can break that trust pretty quickly, that's a good way to tank brand. One thing that I saw is, you know, brands are using AI to create UGC content on social. So imagine if you're a wellness or supplement brand and you're using fake UGC of a fake doctor telling you that this is, you know, for you. That's a good way to tank your brand. That's a good way to hurt your reputation, even if you're just trying to take a shortcut and, you know, it looks okay. So highlighting that one. Shane, you got one?
I think the brands that maybe are just like stalling or not, you know, if there's a few pain points there or their sales are down, or I feel like the brands that do really well, the ones that are open-minded to working with partners, you know, bringing in a service partner or working with a really good tech partner to help them get back up to speed. But the brands that are maybe a little bit more closed-minded in terms of trying new things, trying to get better, trying to improve their site or trying to improve their email marketing or their paid ads or whatever it may be. I think the brands that are really open-minded to trying new things are the ones that are more successful than the ones that maybe aren't.
Yeah, I think I would say just kind of copying the standard D2C brand playbook and not getting creative with the way that you do things is a very easy way to just completely flop. I think there's so much competition, and the kind of examples that spring to mind are when founders doing unscalable things at the beginning very often gets them that leg up above the rest of them. So like sometimes I hear stories of some of the brands that we work with kind of wondering about their subscription plans that they're offering and actually going out to all of their subscribers. Maybe they got 500 subscribers. They can write all those people handwritten notes, or they can call all of those people to understand what the actual problems are that each customer is dealing with, or these very unique things about the customer experience or about the subscriber experience that they just might not have considered at all. And you wouldn't be able to read about in a case study or in some generalized Shopify subscription guide or something. So I think, the brands who are not focusing on doing unscalable things at the beginning generally flop because I think they're just getting out competed by these other ones that are really committing all that extra time and energy to just getting a leg up on them, basically.
Such a good call out. Like building a brand in your own, tunnel vision or your own silo is a recipe for disaster at the end of the day. Because a lot of times you're making an assumption on who your end consumer is, and that assumption is often wrong. There's usually other people who are buying your product that you don't even know about. A good example, I always think, like we work with a beef jerky brand called Righteous Felon, and it's beef jerky, right? So you think like initial target demographic is, male consumers at a certain age and et cetera. And what they found out is it's a lot of moms, it's a lot of wives shopping for their sons and husbands. And so kind of pivoting some of the branding to that made a massive difference at the end of the day. So really good call out. And I also love the pure feedback that you could get from just calling your customers and like truly getting real-time feedback. Nothing will help your brand more than that.
Yeah, no data or report or anything is going to tell you that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Agreed. All right. It sounds like
from Shane's. I was muted, so I didn't realize I was talking to myself. But Dane, I just really like what you said because you hop on with some of these merchants and they have this ego of like they know better, or oh well, you're making too much money. There's all these people that think they know something, and the best people to work with are the people that realize they don't know anything. Like it's so much easier to work with these people, and then inherently they're like Curtis Matsko. He's like 250 million a year. This guy literally doesn't claim to know anything really. Like he's just a nice guy and he's a good leader. And like, he's got Matt Fay running the show. He's got all of his people on the e-com team that basically run it, but he's empowered them to do those things. Like imagine being a leader that's not empowering people that technically should know better than you in a certain field. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'd say taking a brand is just being that egotistical person that doesn't want to work with something new or learn something new from a partner. So I just want to retweet what you said, Shane. That's so massive. I wish there were more people that saw that.
And we see it a lot, like, because what we do at Daily Shift is very niche. No one else is doing what we're doing. So the majority of Shopify brands don't know that you can optimize your checkout, get more people on your email and SMS list. But the brands who come on board, like you said, they're really curious about even just giving out a free trial a go. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the founders and the CRM managers that come on that are curious and they're open-minded to testing things. Those are the brands that are really doing well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's no coincidence that often those are the big ones as well. Those are the successful ones who are curious. And then actually the tiny brands, sometimes they can just give you way more stress because they are at that stage when maybe they think they know everything. Yeah. And it can just be that actually the stress to effectiveness is like completely off on a lot of the starter brands. But that's just kind of something you get a feel for after a while.
That coupled with Eric's point, right? Like the ratio of control, there's something to that because like the smaller the brand, the more control an individual feels that they need to have, right? Which doesn't allow for Shane's point, the testing, the open-mindedness, etc. Like you're trying to do too much at once. It's a good point, because I think like if some of the, I think smaller shops could kind of break through that and empower certain people, they'd probably see a significant amount of growth, at least in the margins. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, guys, we got to talk about ecom a little bit today. This was a good first episode. We do have, when people registered for this, people did ask some questions. Olivia, can you surface those for me?
I love the fact we have Olivia in the background.
Who Olivia is, she is helping run this whole show. So
He's like the equivalent of on Joe Rogan when he's like, pull that up, Jamie. And there's Jamie in the background. You got our very own Jamie.
All right.
Finally.
So one from Marcus over at Perfect Evolution. Thanks for chatting in, Marcus. You're the best. What is the number one glaring issue you come across for SMB merchants on Shopify? I think we kind of just got into this, right?
Yep.
Anything else glaring that you guys want to talk about?
Retention. They have no idea how to leverage product variation for retention. They have no idea. I think most of the time people think these big companies are just really good at media buying, which some are. Some of them are good at media buying, but the problem is you can afford to be bad at media buying when you have good retention metrics, and people don't really invest enough into retention. To give you an example, a lot of these brands that are sub 8 figures, they're not even looking at like what is their most valuable product in terms of its correlation to LTV. So if you're a brand and you're doing 5 million a year and it's been 90 days since first purchase, your LTV to CAC isn't 3 to 1, you don't know what you're doing in retention. You have a bad business model. Like that's just the reality. I guarantee you, if we bought, let's go back to that 100 brand sample size back and had 100 brands join this pod and talk, I'd say 20 of them would know what their 90-day LTV to CAC is right off the bat. The other 80 would have no clue. Like that alone to me is just insane. Like it is literally insanity. Like that should be one of your top metrics, right? But that's where they're lacking, genuinely, where I see.
I love that you said you can be bad at media buying if you are smart about retention and knowing what your LTV is, because at the end of the day, to that same end, a lot of brands are treating those high LTV customers the exact same as you would a net new one-time purchaser. But if you know that LTV, you should be able to spend more money in media or whatever channel at the end of the day. You should be able to allocate more spend on that because you're going to see a better CAC after month 3 or after whatever it is, right? So you could actually, just by knowing that metric, knowing your LTV cohorts, you can actually be better at media buying just from a retention perspective if you understand the cost of acquiring a customer that looks like your subscriber versus, a larger audience that you're testing. Any other thoughts?
I'm reading this next question. This is a good one. It's
jumping ahead. All right.
It's a long question, so I'm just a slow reader. I didn't graduate college, so I have to sometimes try this stuff.
We get that Shopify is designed for e-commerce first, and usually there's an app for that. But every retailer needs back-end basics, like solid reports on what's sold at cost, alongside how much is currently on hand. And if you have a lot of products, you need to know which are not selling. You need to organize your purchases by supplier. Stocky has been a partial solution, and even that we hear is getting sunsetted. Is Shopify developing features to support retailers like us who don't want to fly blind?
Wow, so far.
All right, Kat.
Oh man,
over to you, Eric.
Harry, you want? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I
think I need to read it again.
Well, I would say I have more questions to find out how to solve this problem, I guess. Kathy, I'd be more than happy to chat with you. I have more questions. Other questions I would be asking is like, what's your setup on the fulfillment side? Like, are you like drop shipping in a way? Not saying drop shipping, that's a very like sensitive word, but you get what I'm saying. Multiple dozens of manufacturers delivering to different spots. Shopify developed features for retailers like us who don't want to be fly blind. I mean, part of that also too is one of the problems with brands is they're going to go big in retail, but they still have a D2C presence. And they now have a PO that's due for retail. That's fucking 50,000 units. So when you go from 50,000 units now getting pulled away for your D2C, how can you forecast how much more you need outside of that PO? I think forecasting is just really hard in general. I would say the best way to get good at forecasting, especially in an omni-channel, It's just getting really dialed in on product releases and how that impacts retention metrics. Like, you got to know how many people are going to come back and buy, because media buying, you're going to have a pretty solid idea just because you're going to average the averages that you normally have. But yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. That's pretty cool.
That's really look at us.
It's got some magic. Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'll hit you up. I don't need to even. I'll hit you up, Cassie. If anything, I know somebody that can help. So yeah, that's a really complicated one. I've never even heard of Stocky, by the way.
I would also suggest Predico as well. Prediko. Yuri and the team there do a lot of really good work around stock levels and forecasting and all that kind of stuff. So if that's the kind of area that you need plugins, that's the one.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.
Woo! Thanks very much for having me. It's been
Shane?
a pleasure.
You're the best for hanging on. I appreciate you joining today, but we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, Harry, I'm going to start my training this afternoon.
Camp starts now, dude.
Get the
One updates as you go.
Get the Rocky music. My goal is getting you in a Kimura. If I can do that, quit. I'm retiring.
I quit as well. You can do that.
All right, see you guys. I can jump.